Alrighty, YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video here. So, as expected, the 49ers and Fred Warner obviously have been in pretty intense extension conversations. Obviously, following Brock Purdy being extended. So, obviously, I mean, the three biggest names that the 49ers had on their radar to extend: George Kittle, Brock Purdy, and Fred Warner. They've gotten George Kittle and Brock Purdy extended. Now, obviously, their focus has completely shifted to Fred Warner, rightfully so. There's nobody else in the NFL better than Fred Warner. And according to Jennifer Lee Chan of NBC Sports Bay Area, the 49ers are close to finalizing a multi-year extension with Fred Warner. And obviously, you know, it seems to me this offseason is kind of reflective of the 49ers learning from their past, and, you know, they clearly desire a more drama-free offseason from here on out. Obviously in 2024, multiple players were absent from team headquarters while working through contract negotiations. We know about the Debo situation. We know about the Ayuk situation, the Trent Williams situation, the Nick Bosa situation. Like, all of those guys were extended, yes, but it took some time for the 49ers to get those deals done. And this year, 2025's offseason has been pretty much stress/drama-free. There hasn't been a lot of drama. Obviously, one of the biggest storylines in the NFL this offseason was Brock Purdy's contract, how long it would take. There were obviously some idiots out there that suggested the 49ers trade Brock Purdy, or that they elect him to play out the final year of his contract. That was never going to happen. The 49ers were never going to trade Brock Purdy. They were never going to let him play out the final year of his contract. He was and always has been, the number one priority on their team to get a new deal, to sign a massive extension. So they get him done. Well, they get Kittle done. They get Purdy done. And now, Fred Warner's on their radar, and they're close to working out a multi-year extension for Fred Warner. Obviously, Warner's extension likely will make him, the highest paid inside linebacker probably in NFL history, while keeping him in the Bay Area for the foreseeable future. Obviously, I definitely think knocking out George Kittle and Brock Purdy's contract, and now Fred Warner's contract, obviously getting this done quick will allow the 49ers to focus purely on football and getting better as a team moving into the 2025 season. So obviously everything seems to be heading in the right direction. It all started with rehiring Robert Saleh, finding a good special teams coach. Then it was the draft, right? And I think, obviously a couple picks here and there, in my opinion, could have went different ways in the NFL draft. But overall, I think the 49ers killed the draft. I think, all of the picks that they had were neat, right? Like, all of the picks filled needs. I loved, rounds 1 through 4. I think they absolutely murdered the draft where it counted. And what I mean by that is really picks 1 through 4. Obviously, when you get into the later rounds of picks, the 49ers always seem to kind of be a team that, has some draft picks where you're like, I don't really know why they did that. But overall, man, I think they killed the draft. Obviously it was the draft. And then it was, getting these contracts done, right? Like getting Purdy's contract done, getting Kittle's done, and now getting Fred Warner's done. So this offseason to me couldn't have gone better so far for the 49ers. I've always been adamant on it being important to get contracts done quick. Don't let these contracts drag out and be, storylines throughout the NFL media. Get them done, make it drama-free, focus on football. Don't be in the spotlight with some of these storylines, and again, focus on being and getting better as a team. So that's actually something Fred Warner kind of said. He said, I think it's obviously worked out really well being able to knock those things out earlier, talking about the Purdy contract and the Kittle contract. He said, allowing us to focus just solely on ball and getting better as a team, things are moving in the right direction. And again, Purdy, Kittle, and Warner, not only is their on-field abilities, elite, right? But their status as leaders in the locker room is just as important as what they bring to the table with their talent and, again, their on-field abilities. So, again, and all three players have been at the facility participating in the offseason program. Fred Warner showed up. Brock Purdy showed up from the start. Kittle didn't show up for like the first 1 or 2 days. It was reported that it was contract related. He quickly shut that down. There was a report that came out from Diana Rossini where she said it was contract related and that he wouldn't show up until a contract was done. Kittle said that was false and then showed up like a day or two later. So obviously it's important because that sets an example for the younger players in the locker room. Purdy being there, when he hasn't inked a contract yet, knowing that he's going to be paid well over $50 million per year, that speaks a lot about Purdy's character. That speaks a lot about the type of player that he is, the type of person that he is. True professional. Obviously got paid very handsomely. Again, congrats to Purdy. Congrats to Kittle. And eventually congrats to Fred Warner. So, yeah, man, obviously let me know what you guys think of this report. Again, Fred Warner and the 49ers are close to finalizing a multi-year contract extension. So, again, I think this thing could be done within the next day or two. We'll see what happens. Obviously, when the news does break, I'll let you guys, I'll pump out a video and kind of give my thoughts on it and all the numbers of the contract, the years and things like that. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, man, again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. As always, go Niners. I'll see you guys in the next one.